Hey guys, welcome back. This is topic 1.6, Principles of American Government, and this is for AP US Government. In this lesson, we're going to be talking about checks and balances and separation of powers. We're going to be talking about the impeachment process, and we're going to look at the three historical impeachments. I often find that students get confused when we're talking about the difference between separation of powers and checks and balances. So first, let's get their definitions. Separation of powers is the idea that each branch of government has its own distinct powers, separate from those of the other two. So, for example, Congress has the power to write laws, whereas the president has the power to enforce laws. Checks and balances, on the other hand, is the idea that each branch can act in some way to reduce the power of the other two. So, let's take that power of Congress to write laws. A check that the executive branch has on Congress is to veto a bill that they pass. Here you can see a list of each of the powers of the three branches. Take just a moment and write down the powers of each branch into your notes. Feel free to pause the video here if you need more time. In this graphic, you can see the different checks of each of the branches of the other two. Take a moment to write these down in your notes. In fact, draw the whole diagram in your notes if you want. Feel free to pause the video if you need more time. Let's move on and discuss a specific check of the legislative branch, impeachment. First, know this. Impeachment equals indictment, or officially saying that someone is being charged with wrongdoing. Impeachment is not the removal of someone from office. Let me repeat, it is not the removal of somebody from office. The impeachment process is outlined in 4 parts of the Constitution. The first is Article 1, Section 2, Clause 5. Which gives the House of Representatives the power to impeach. In Article 1, Section 3, Clause 6, gives the Senate the power to hold impeachment trials and remove officials from office. Article 1, Section 3, Clause 7 states that the Senate trial is only for removal from office. It's not a criminal trial. Any criminal actions must be taken up through the normal court system. And finally, Article 2, Section 4 states that the president, vice president, or judges can be impeached and removed from office for 3 things: treason, bribery, or high crimes and misdemeanors. The impeachment process has around 8 steps, and each of those steps takes time. This is not a short process. Any member of the House of Representatives can introduce an impeachment resolution. Once introduced, that resolution has to go to a committee in order to be investigated. Typically, it's the House Judiciary Committee. If after the investigation, that committee votes in a simple majority to impeach, articles of impeachment are brought to the floor of the House for the entire chamber to vote on. If a simple majority of the House votes to impeach, then the official is impeached. Remember, impeachment is not removal from office. They are being charged with a crime. The charges are then brought to the Senate, who then holds a trial. The Chief Justice of the Supreme Court presides as the judge, and members of the House Judiciary Committee are the prosecutors. The entire Senate acts as the jury. In order for a president or other official to be removed from office, a 2/3 majority of the Senate is required. So, who's been impeached? There have only been 3 impeachments in the history of our country. The first was Andrew Johnson, who replaced President Lincoln after he was killed in office, Bill Clinton, and Donald Trump. Andrew Johnson was impeached when he broke a law that was specifically designed to limit his power. Lincoln chose him as a running mate specifically because he was a Southerner, and most of the Northern Congress at the time hated him. He narrowly avoided being removed from office by 1 vote. The law Johnson broke was later determined to be unconstitutional and was removed. Johnson, however, did not run for a second term. Bill Clinton was in his second term when he was impeached for high crimes and misdemeanors. He was accused of lying on the stand while being questioned in regards to a sexual harassment suit, so he was lying under oath. Not a single Democratic senator voted to remove him from office, and 10 Republican senators voted with the Democrats. Remember, Bill Clinton was a Democrat. Donald Trump was accused of trying to get the Ukrainian president to interfere in the 2020 election by announcing a phony investigation into the son of his Democratic challenger, Joe Biden. All of the Democrats and independents in the Senate voted to remove Trump, but not a single Republican voted for removal. With a majority Republican Senate, Donald Trump remained in office. Here is an example of what articles of impeachment actually look like. These are the articles of impeachment for Bill Clinton, who was accused of high crimes and misdemeanors. Many people think that Richard Nixon was impeached. In fact, before the House of Representatives could vote on impeachment, Nixon chose to resign. Nixon was being accused of ordering men that worked for him to break into the Democratic National Committee headquarters located in the Watergate Hotel and steal information about their strategy for the election. Nixon was in his second term when he resigned. Here you can see that very short resignation letter. So in this lesson, you should have learned about checks and balances and separation of powers, the impeachment process, and our 3 historical impeachments. If there's anything that you missed, please go back and watch that part of the video again. Then, answer the summarizing question on your notes so that you can get a stamp the next time you're in class. All right, guys, we'll see you next time. Bye.